Hi everyone and welcome to 3D Survey webinar, What's New in 4.1 version. Super important day for us and probably also for you. Twice per year we release new features and updates. So the software is getting stronger and stronger. And today we would like to share with you this news, what we managed to put together, how we managed to improve the software based on our experience, based on our feeling, and of course, based also on your feedback. Again, please feel free to write your questions in the question box of the webinar platform, and we will answer them at the end of the webinar. And yes, let's introduce us. Who is today with you? Matthias Zupan, our quality assurance manager. Mattia, feel
Yeah.
free to take a minute.
Hi, everybody. It's exciting to be here in another What's New webinar. I think you'll be very happy with the new stuff. Um, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mattia. And probably most of you already also know Vit Peterman, our CTO, and
Hi guys.
definitely first one, if you need strong support, Vit, feel free.
Hi guys, nice to see you again. Welcome to the webinar. I hope you are excited about this one as we are.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Mattia. Thank you, Vit. I will continue with my PowerPoint, and please confirm if you can see the screen.
Yes, we can see the screen.
Very good. Okay. First, as an introduction, we prepared a list of new things and new features in 3D Survey, and point number one is definitely faster point cloud and mesh calculation. Mattia will represent this improvement, but in general, I can say we speed up the processing for point load and mesh calculation for twice. So it's a big improvement. Instead of waiting 8 hours, you will get your results in 4 hours, which is extraordinary, I believe. And yes, let's leave left a bit more left for Mattia to go with this first point. Then point number two, cleaner mesh and Edge Complete Orthophoto. Improvement which was done based on your feedback. With the previous version, we improved the full 3D mesh quality quite a lot, but in some cases we have some kind of big holes in the meshes, especially if the mapping was not perfect or if you had a lot of trees close to the road or something like that, and then you have some holes in 3D model and later on also in orthophoto. This was improved, looks much nicer, and you will see. Again, Mattia will do the presentation of this part. Then my part will be point number three, user interface enhancements. A bundle of enhancement has been done. As you can see on the image on the left side, you can set a customizable background color. Currently you see a daylight preview, but nevertheless you can set your background to the white color and do the capture with the C button, so the print screen are not going to be modeled with a black background. Now you have with the white one. To print out this one, it's easier. And of course, much more new tab icons. You have two additional buttons where you see the license status. If you have valid upgrade and support, you need to extend it. If you have a cloud status, if you have valid 3D survey cloud, and so on. And a small one, but super powerful, nice one, project history search. So you can simply type your project name and you will find this one out. I will do the presentation, this one after Mattia. Then point number four, super interesting one, super specific one, very surveying orientated features. Most of us are surveyors. We know what we are doing. We have a big group of surveying specialists, one flow lower from our company. And first, in a lifetime, we designed Ground Orthophoto, fully different approach to the orthophoto. I will run a video that you will see the smooth presentation of this one. the tutorial which Mattia recorded, and later on we can discuss more if this is something for you and what can you get from this one. So Ground Orthophoto, remember it. And then Wit will do the presentation of Transform tool upgrade. The feature Transform feature is in some cases super important. It's maybe a bit hidden for the normal user, for the not heavy user, but the ones who are working really a lot with the 3D survey, they know that Transform is available on the right mouse click on a point cloud or mesh or any data type, and you can move your data uh, based on orientation, setting up the orientation differences or coordinates, or there are a number of different ways. And now we even improve this transform tool that you can really accurately decide what you would like to transform. Vid will present this one. And again, another one from it, X-ray vectorization offset. Finally, now you're able to draw floor plans based on X-ray orthophotos and immediately set the snapping plane elevation to the, let's say, to the floor elevation height. So improvement which should be probably done right at the beginning, but yes, we postponed this one. Another interesting one we will represent it. And last but not least, another platform is there for 3D survey. Linux version is available for you. Usually some heavy users are using Linux to process the data with the script engines and so on. It's still beta because this is first ever release of Linux version for 3D survey, but nevertheless, if you like to, have it on Linux 3D survey, you can have it. And we know Microsoft is getting more strict and strict. If you have old computer machines which you cannot upgrade to the latest Windows, maybe this is a good option also for you. Mattia will finish with this one. And after all these improvements, just one more question from our pool, and then we are answering questions which you set up in the webinar platform during the webinar. Please don't forget it. Okay. Okay, this was intense introduction, a lot of interesting stuff to present you today. We have left more than half an hour, so Mattia, please feel free to start with the first one from your side. Faster point cloud and mesh calculation.
Hello, hello. Yeah, let me first switch to presenter mode.
Okay, if you need something from my side, let me know.
Okay, let's see. I think this should do it. Hello. Do you see my screen now?
We can see your
Yes.
screen.
Okay. So this is the mesh that we're going to check out in a bit, but first I'd like to show you um, some technical data, some boring statistics well, it's not that boring actually, but I've done a lot of projects, I've timed them. Uh, we were all aware that, speed was not our strongest point, so we wanted to make this one our strongest point. So if we check out, these are the timings that I made of our projects. So I wanted to represent projects that most of our customers do on daily basis. So I went from 500 images to maybe just 75 or 57 images to about 800, and we tested even more than 1000. And here is the comparison. As you can see, across the board, there's usually somewhat of a 50% time decrease in the processing. So the main two components of 3D models are point cloud and mesh, which are now done in sort of bundle calculated through the reconstruction step. So if we check out this table here, we can see, just a second, um, the cumulative time of point cloud and mesh processing in the version 4.402 compared to 4.1. In most cases, we save about 50% of processing time. There was one outlier where we saved 63% of time. So it's more than twice as fast. But, this one was the only one that was so greatly sped up. So we went with 50%
But
generally.
that's extraordinary if you ask me. So we are talking about hours. So
Yeah, here on the left you can see the y-axis in the hours. So, for example, here the processing time on the new version took 2 hours, while it was 4.5 on the older version. And if you have larger projects, it took, for example, 8 hours to produce you a final product of Mesh and Point Cloud, but now it's about 4 hours. So if you're doing one large project or two large projects a week, you could actually save yourself a time of a complete day, um, complete work day in processing time. For a bit of a, let's say, interesting uh,
mhm,
detail here, I give you a snapshot of our development. Here was the timing I recorded in the 4.02 version, and then we improved it step by step. It was a long process to get to where we are today, and the time got cut
mhm,
with every version we put
mhm.
out.
And definitely not just 5 versions, huh? Those
Yeah,
were
these are
probably
just
20 versions or something like that. But yeah, the most important ones, okay?
yes, yes, yes. These are just cherry-picked versions. So yeah, this is the I don't have much visual to show you here except for these graphs. I was happy that the algorithm is so bulletproof that it doesn't break if you, for example, put in a lot of images, or if you do projects that have higher resolution images. These have also great benefits. We even forgot to mention this. Now you can do projects with higher resolution images, and this one have great speed improvements. I also tested handheld camera, for example, and it also came out true that you get a lot of time saved on those projects too. So no matter what you do, it's going to be faster for you. That's the conclusion.
Okay, very good. Very
Um,
technical one, but yes, general message, straightforward, twice faster. I think you all will be very happy about this one. And yes, Mattia, feel free to continue.
yeah, the other thing I wanted to mention is I guess the natural question would be, but is it the same quality? And if you would provoke me, I would say no, it's not. It's even better because we have optimized some approaches, and now you would get meshes. For example, if we focus, I think I was here before. This is the new mesh, and this is the old mesh. I hope this bandwidth
Hmm.
is able to process it. The differences are really slight. It's not the same mesh, but maybe you can notice that the new one is slightly more polished. So this is the new
Hmm.
one, and this is the old one. You get a bit more rugged surfaces
Hmm.
on the old one, and I think I found the entrance into this box here. If we look closely, this is the old one, and now I'm going to do the comparison. Old one, new one.
Hmm.
So you can see there was
Hmm.
still some excessive material, some excessive mesh on the new on the old approach,
Mhm.
which we were able to streamline and cut thin so it's even
Mhm.
more precise.
So it's nicely visible on this vertical wall, I believe. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but definitely users will get this experience definitely by themselves also. If you process the same project, you will see the improvement. So this is
Hmm.
bonus to speed improvement. Very good.
Yeah. We could really look some project up close and notice the tiny differences. But let me just show you this one. This one I like because the pain of many users are this sort of under roof edges where photogrammetry often fails because not a lot of users take images from the lower side, and the new algorithm now handles this much better. If we look at it like this, you can see that this underhang here is handled a lot better in the newer version. So this brings us to the second point I want to cover today, which is the Edge Complete Orthophoto. This one Marco mentioned in the beginning gives you a much clearer orthophoto outputs. And let me just show you on the example. And I think the best tool to view such before and after um, comparisons is the 3Dsurvey Cloud Viewer. And let me take you here. So this is our old orthophoto, true orthophoto anyways. On this one, yeah, you can see it's pretty good. But for example, what bothers me here is this hole in the road here. You can see on the background map that the road should be here, and it's not. And in areas where you have forest, there's a lot of artifacts and little islands of mesh. This is now handled with the new approach. Let me show you. Ta-da! So the road is now complete, and this area here where the forest is a bit more dense is filled out much nicer.
Mhm. Okay.
So the edges of orthophotos are now much more accurate and don't leave the information out. Let me give you another example. This one's probably my favorite. So as I mentioned, the problem is the most appearing in the forested areas. And here you can see the orthophoto is pretty much the same on the lower end of the
Mhm.
image where the grass and the buildings are. But if we look at the forest, we can see that before we had a slight problem of holes growing in and
Mhm.
eating up the
Mhm.
orthophoto.
This is definitely looking much better, huh?
Yeah, I'm sure that users will appreciate this when they output the orthophoto. I think any end customer prefers to see this image to this
Mhm.
image because it
Mhm.
looks much more professional, much more
Mhm.
nicely finished, and let's just call it Edge Complete Orthophoto. So yeah, these were my examples. If you want, we can actually share this one with you, so you can see it for yourself. So I will share this with anyone with the link. I just
Okay,
copy link.
so probably you can find this in a chat box.
Yeah, let me just get there. Check out the chat box and open
Okay.
the link. And if you want to see this side-by-side comparison, click down here and you have the two surveys side by side, and you can use this slider to check it out. So go crazy.
Okay, very good. Definitely works on my side. Looks much better now.
Mm.
Uh, I would just maybe like to mention that maybe in general, if you map everything correctly and if there are not so hard vegetation areas, you probably get by default already good results. In any
Yeah.
case, with the new improvements, this will be even better, and we solve also this kind of specific areas. And again, I think this improvement was done definitely based on user feedback, based on your feedback. Probably Vit can agree with us. He probably get a one email per week or every 2 week about this stuff. This is solved. This is improved. Looks much better now.
Yeah.
Okay, Mattia, very good. Would you like to add something in addition to this one?
Uh, no, I think that's it. Yeah, that's the
Okay,
orthophoto now, and I think a lot of people will appreciate it because yeah, it's
thank you.
the one of the standard outputs of photogrammetry workflow.
That's fully true. Thank you, Mattia, for your presentation. Now, I believe it's my turn. We are already at point 3 of what's new, and this is user interface enhancement.
Okay.
We'll see part of improvements there. We prepared a short video about this one that the experience will be even smoother. So I will run the video and we are all back after 2 or 3 minutes. Again, if you have some questions, don't hesitate to write them in a question box. And yes, let's go and share now the first video with you. So this one,
Okay.
okay, let's say play. This works.
Hello and welcome to 3Dsurvey 4.1, where everything looks better than ever before. Let's kick off with small but genuinely useful feature, the search bar. I just type in the keyword and it filters out the list of recent projects for me. Once your project loads, probably the first thing you'll notice are these tab icons. All 9 of them have been rearranged to fit in the working panel. No more arrows to get you to the end of the list. In the top right, we have added clear license and cloud indicators to keep you informed so you never lose access to updates, support, or cloud uploads. This button here will take you to your cloud if you only wish to view it. Since we have other tutorials about cloud, we will not upload anything today. Instead, I want to show you another new feature. If you go to Options and Application Settings, there's a new tab called Color. The first thing you can change here is the background color. Let's choose white, for example. Why would you choose white? Well, in case you want to do custom print-friendly screenshots, like this one. But perhaps more inviting option is the horizon background. This enables you to produce most natural looking and eye-pleasing visualizations. It has the daylight option and also the darker dusk option for a more dramatic look. Combine it with auto rotate option and you get a nice automatic demo presentation. Now on the second project, I'd like to show you the other 2 color options. First, there's contour lines. What if we want to make them a bit more attractive looking? Let's say something unusual, like blue and white, for example. Let's see how this would look like. I would say that on these half a meter equidistance contour lines, this looks fantastic. Very distinct and very contrasty. To see the last feature of today, we have to switch to Orthophoto tab. Now here you can see I also made some profile lines. Perhaps you would like to be more distinctive of which one is the leading line and which one is the perpendicular. We can choose the color for each of those. Let's say magenta for the leading line, and now there's no doubt. You can easily tell that magenta is the leading line and the greens are the perpendiculars. However, this change only affects the appearance on the Orthophoto tab. And one last thing, if you messed up the colors too much, there's also a reset to default button down there to get you back to normal. Thanks for watching another 3D Survey tutorial. I hope you like this new version and stay tuned for more tutorials.
Okay, very
Very
good.
nice.
We are back in live. I'm sharing my screen now again. Uh, Thank you, Mattia, for this great tutorial. You explained everything what I'd love to explain about this feature, but nevertheless, I will just quickly repeat this one and mention my favorite ones. So the point number one was project search point. So after you install the point 4.1 version, here there will be a search project option. And for example, I have here in a history, let's say more than 100 projects. Sometimes it's super hard to find it. One trick, right mouse click on, opens also some additional features. This was done already in the previous versions, but I mention again, so you can remove it from the list or open file location. But what's new now, I can finally search for my Potochnikova, and all here are all my project about the Potochnikova or something like that. Okay, so never again search for your project. You can quickly find them, work efficient. Okay, then my second two favorite ones are these two buttons. So subscription active or upgrade support active and cloud options available. So super important buttons because from your feedback, from our experience, actually, sometimes you run out of upgrade and support. We definitely send you 3 emails or something like that. Hey, you run out of support and upgrade. But if those emails are, I don't know, transferred to your boss or any other person who is not working with the 3D survey, you probably didn't have any feedback. What is the status of your license? There is an option, so help and license, but not sure how many of you did go and check here when the validation date is. No, you are covered with these two buttons until everything is fine. You have a green one, 10 days, I believe 10 days until the support and upgrade or subscription ends. This button gets yellow, and then the end, of course, red one. If you have a perpetual license, of course, your software will continue running smoothly, but you don't have support and upgrades anymore. And of course, the 3D Survey cloud button will be grayed out. So if I click now on this one on, you will see your subscription is currently active. You have access to software updates, technical support, cloud features, and so on. If you like, you can extend it already before it ends. It's even more clever. So contact your local distributor or log into a 3D Survey account and extend it. Okay, cool. Then the second 3D Survey cloud buttons, it's a shortcut to the project cloud upload. So if I click this one, I get the same interface as before. What's added here? Direct link to 3D Survey Cloud. Okay, I believe nowhere. It's hard to find somewhere or sometimes on our webpage link to 3D Survey Cloud, or you need to bookmark it in a browser. But if you click now this one, it will definitely log you to 3D Survey Cloud on. So this is a shortcut, another one. Super nice one. And then let's go to more realistic project. And point number three, definitely my favorites one. Finally, we exchange those image, cat, point cloud mesh, all those words. I can show you how not nice looking was this before with the 4.02 version.
I think everybody knows, Marco.
Yeah, but let's remember you. Let's feel this pain, okay? Okay, you see, it's officially available 4.1, but remind me
Let's
later.
go.
Let it go. So before you have those words here, tabs here, and if I like to go to volume tab, I need to use those arrows now, click on volume, then back to CAD, and it takes time to switching it. No, finally everything is here, one click away. CAD, images, point cloud, mesh. If I had volumes, no problem. So it's much faster, it's much nicer, it's just better user experience. And then last but not least, Mattia already showed you this one. Option, application settings, new tab is here, color. Let's go to daylight, confirm, and you see the switch immediately. Okay, it looks much nicer. Very good for visualization. Not sure if was mentioned it in the tutorial. Super important one. If you like to reset to defaults, here is the button. Mattia, was this in the tutorial or I
Yes,
was
it
just
was.
listen?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
then sorry, my bad. But our traditional 3D survey color dark, I don't know how it is, dark gray or something like that. It's
I don't
super
know.
effective for work. And if you like to go to the back one, when you confirm it, you have this one back. Okay. So this is about the user interface improvement and this part of the improvement stuff. Next one is Ground Orthophoto, the breakthrough in the orthophoto history. Another nice tutorial presentation is prepared here from Mattia. I love it. That's why I will share with you this video, and we're back in 3 minutes. Okay.
I think it's two
If
now.
there are questions, write them in question box. Okay, and I start with my second video, Ground Orthophoto. Check this out. No one has this feature in their software. No one from the competition. I believe it's a first time, and it's effective for some kind of projects. See you in short.
Enjoy.
Yes, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to another 3Dsurvey tutorial. Today I'd like to show you how 3Dsurvey 4.1 is redefining an orthophoto. For almost a century, orthophoto has been perceived as a bird's view top-down image. But what if it could be more than that? Since you don't always need the topmost visible layer, we came up with this groundbreaking solution that enables you to see the actual ground, the thing you usually need to measure on. All you have to do to produce such an orthophoto is to follow the standard workflow and create a full 3D mesh. Then go to Orthophoto tab and select the first option. And in this window, check the Ground Orthophoto option. The image is generated almost instantly. And as we compare it to the classic orthophoto, we can see that in places where the ground information was available, the upper layers were filtered out. Now let's see some close-ups. For example, these trees at the edge of the parking lot. Now we can clearly see the shafts underneath the trees and the doormat underneath the roof. How about the building corner? On the classic orthophoto, we can see how far the roof goes, but on the ground orthophoto, we can see the actual building corner, the wall. Now let's see an even more extreme case. Here the whole parking lot is hidden underneath this roof, but we mapped it thoroughly, and with the right tools such as Ground Orthophoto, you can now see through the roof and show everything on the orthophoto. And these are just two examples that we found. I'm sure there's plenty more. Please let us know what do you use this feature for. This is it for this tutorial and see you next time.
Okay, short and powerful one. I love it. Let's see how you love it. Let me share my screen now. Okay, and take the Potochnikov project again. Uh, Vit or Mattia, can you confirm you can see my screen?
Yes,
Yes.
we can.
Okay, very good. So just a short explanation in addition. true orthophoto, it's calculated from 3D model, and we are actually looking kind of a bird's view, perpendicular down ortho, and you get the orthophoto. With this trick, actually, we are looking from the bottom up. So that's why this is called ground orthophoto. And how we actually figure out to go to this feature is right at the beginning when design 3D survey, we were producing kind of traditional orthophoto where we have bringing buildings together. So actually damaging buildings, but getting out the building corners and what's actually on the terrain level. But now when DJI drones are producing a lot of images with a lot of side images, so 3D oblique missions, everything like that, this is not possible anymore. But with the ground orthophoto, this is back and even much better than before, fully automatic. You can get these results if you go to orthophoto, calculate new, and use this checkbox ground orthophoto. The calculation is super fast, as already mentioned. Let me calculate again, another one. And this is the result. If you look from the button side, uh, that you will understand, I will first turn you the previous version on. So this is the true orthophoto where all the roof positions are on the right spot, where all the vegetations, cables, and everything is on the right spot. But in some cases, we cannot see what's under the, let's say, under the tree or something like that. And with the ground orthophoto, we eliminate all this stuff what's above the terrain level. And for example, you see, you can clearly see how the curb is running here. If there are some manholes in addition, you can even see what's under the location where the bicycles are parked. Okay, so it's a quite nice improvement. If you are connecting survey maps, you will definitely love this feature. Okay, and even if we move to the corner side, the same position if you already saw on a video. So this is the true orthophoto and this is the ground orthophoto. So I can definitely see my corner in 2D here. Okay. Then maybe just additional explanation to extracting out here what you can do. So one option is export orthophoto and draw it something in AutoCAD or something like that. Or second option is that you drape this orthophoto on a plane and finish your data CAD extraction in our CAD tab. Okay. If there will be more requests, we can record a short video about this workaround, yes, and share it with you, of course, not a problem. Okay, Mattia or Vid, did I forgot something with these two things?
I think you covered it nicely. Very nice.
Okay, very good. And then we are already, so Vit, I think it's your time. So two features you are going to present it, X-ray vectorization. No, sorry, transform tool upgrade first and then X-ray vectorization. So feel free.
Okay, thank you very much. Now I'll go ahead and take over the screen. And I think now you will all start to see my computer monitor. And
Yes.
here I already have my project. So we made a nice small update to our transformation tool. The reason for that was more and more 3Dsurvey is becoming a data integration tool. And we see that you, our customers, are bringing all sorts of data into the software from different kinds of scanners, photogrammetric point cloud, CAD CAD data, and so on. So very often, these data are not geo-referenced in the same coordinate systems. So before, we had in here this nice powerful transform tool where you would right click on the point cloud and select transform, and then you could either calculate transformation parameters based on the sets of identical points, or you could just enter those parameters in here, or even manipulate data manually. The option was, if you did it like that, you could only you could move just the selected point cloud or everything in your project. Now we've made this a little bit different. Now we have here this select objects button, and here we can select exactly what we want to transform and what we want to stay in the same position. If I were to click confirm selection now and press confirm, now the selected data would be rotated by 15 degrees around the vertical axis. Second issue that was here, a lot of time you also bring in just the CAD data and you want to transform those. So you don't want to enter here through the list of point clouds. So because of that, instead, you can now start the project transformation tool from here, data, transform project. And then again, you get to the same one here, and here you can just select and only transform the CAD data, confirm selection, and then you can, for example, move the CAD data to come into the project location. So one small but powerful new feature.
Very good. Definitely, Vit, you mentioned nicely about the integration. Love it that you remembered this one. A lot of users, as you already mentioned, it's putting a lot of different data types here together in 3Dsurvey, and we are well known about this one already at the very beginning of 3Dsurvey, even when it was born. So, do the combination, SLAM data are now very, very popular. You can use them here, and now you can also transform the spherical images with the new transform tool. So this wasn't
Exactly.
possible before. This wasn't possible before. Now, if you have spherical images, you can also transform them.
So we have here
Okay,
this second project with the spherical images, if the spherical images are in the project. So the slams, very often when we import them, we have to move them a little bit, maybe vertically if we don't have slam data with the geoid model. If we come here and we try to transform that, if the whatever is in the project and can be transformed, that will be in here. So even the X-ray views and everything, if they are present, if you move everything up, then everything will move vertically, or however you set the transformation here in the parameters. Right.
Maybe it would be worth noting elements you cannot transform.
Yes, the elements you cannot transform are two types. So those are the ones that you cannot rotate in 3D. And those two data types are digital terrain model, because it's made of a regular grid mesh. And the second one is digital orthophoto, because in 3Dsurvey, orthophoto is always vertical. Right. Now we can use this project here to introduce the smallest updated feature in this update. And that has to do with X-ray functionality. So X-ray is a tool useful for creating, for example, building plans. And practically, when we try to create the building plan and create a slice here, so typically at the bottom of the rooms, there will be a lot of equipment like computers, chairs, desks, wardrobes, and so on. But here at the top of the room, here usually we have nice empty corners. So here what we would like to do, we would like to create a slice at the room ceiling, but we would like the floor plan to appear at the room bottom. And this is now possible. Let's see how that works. So if I go here and create a new slice, I'll define it up here. Now I will fine tune it a little bit, maybe make it a bit thinner, like that. Now, before, if I wanted the slice to be on the uh, ground level, I could only move this to here. But now actually with the new update, this snapping plane elevation, it can move outside of my slice limits. So what that allows me to do, I can create the slice up here at the room ceiling and just move the snapping plane down here to my floor level.
Exactly.
And if we press confirm now.
So maybe just to mention here again, if you click on the yellow square, you can move the entire interface. If you click just on the red line, you move just the red line.
Yeah, exactly. So now here we get this nice clean slice. And if I, for example, draw a very quick line here, maybe it won't be the most accurate one.
Use the automatic.
This time I chose to do it manually. Okay, and snap back on the first point like that. And if I go into our CAD now and move in here, now we can see that I created this nice line exactly at the floor level. And I was able to go nicely here behind this wardrobe that we have in the corner.
Nice example that you can see how busy the office it is. And
impossible to vectorize.
Exactly, great example. So this was recorded with SLAM device, huh?
Yeah, so this is example of a SLAM scan. Pretty nice one. And here we have this room in the top-down view.
Okay, very nice presentation. Well done, thank you, Vit. Anything else in addition, maybe?
I just want to show you how bounding box can be useful to show the insides of the room. Okay, so this is the SLAM. Right, a small feature, but we think it's a useful one. Of course, we could have thought of that sooner, but we had to start working with equipment to figure out that this kind of functionality is actually needed.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you, Vit, for this one. And last but not least, I think Mattia has a short news also about the Linux.
Yeah, let me just switch back. I have to figure out the buttons again. Hello. Yes. So I think I'm back now. Yeah. Yeah, I made a short video about Linux since, we're currently on the Windows machines and can't really be on two machines at once. So once actually tomorrow, you'll be able to go to our website and download the Linux version. And the installation process is actually simpler than in Windows. You just right-click the downloaded file and make it executable here, and double-click it, run it, and it works the same as the Windows version. This is it. Very simple. Maybe just a quick disclaimer: there are few differences. Um, for now, the reports are not supported, and the LAZ format is proprietary, so this one is also not supported. Marco, did I forget
Mm.
anything else?
I believe you know more about Linux than I do, but yes, LAZ not supported, LLS is supported. So just
Yeah,
the
yeah,
one
yeah.
of it. So yeah, and report you mean maybe general reports, so where you
And
get all the
measurement report.
statistic
Yeah,
and measurement reports. Just
yes.
a few words more about this one. But yes, check it out if you like. I know some of the customers were waiting for Linux version, and yes, tomorrow is first birthday for Linux version. Just maybe future plans with the Linux. We plan to update it parallel with the Windows, and that's it. Okay.
Yeah, and for those worried, it performs identically. Our lead developers had also hoped that it might perform a bit faster since some different libraries are used, but in our testings, we haven't found
Mm,
much difference. So sometimes it was 2 minutes faster, sometimes it was a minute slower. It's all in error
mm,
margin.
mm,
Maybe if I can take a few seconds to emphasize why I think this is important. As Marco mentioned already, Microsoft and Windows are getting a bit unfriendly to users, especially if you are running on slower machines, older machines. You no longer are supported as from Windows, so this might be a good option for you. And the thing I sort of the way I see it is a lot of people are shifting towards Linux, and we simply didn't want to be the stopper for that transition. So now we don't have an excuse that you may not be able to work on photogrammetry projects because there are no softwares on the Linux platform. Now you have it. You can go and never look back.
mm,
And last but not least, I've noticed some governments are already leaning towards ditching Windows because of privacy issues. And if you're working in governmental companies, for example, in France, Denmark, this movement is quite strong, and
mm.
3D Survey might be a solution for you. So
Okay.
that was my Linux promo session. Thank you for listening.
Very good. I would just like to finish with I believe it's a good timing. So for the 3D survey that we release also the Linux one for
Mm.
all this reason, Mattia, you mentioned really nicely. Okay, so before we start with questions, I would like to share my screen again and just remember you again. So faster point cloud mesh calculations, so twice faster. Instead of waiting 8 hours, just 4 hours. Okay, big one. Cleaner mesh, edge complete orthophoto. So no more small holes inside to the orthophoto. More consist orthophoto, more complete orthophoto. A lot of interfacing enhancements, so you can preset your background color for the 3D interface, 2D interface. It helps you by creating print screen for the reports and much more. New tab icons, so nicer software, more user friendly, faster operation, faster switching between tabs and everything like that. Two new buttons for the license status to inform you in which phase you are, and direct cloud link with the button, and of course project history. Ground orthophoto, interesting one. Let's see where it will bring us. Then with present transform tool upgrade. super important for integrating all those data types in a single software. Very powerful. Small one, X-ray vectorization offset, but necessary one, and Linux version. So this all very powerful in 4.1 version as always. Now I believe we are ready for the pool with a
Yeah.
single question, and then let's start with answering your questions.
Oh, good thing you remember that one, Marco. I completely
Okay.
forgot.
Yeah,
So
Mattia, feel free.
now, thank you, Marco. Now that you got this run through again, I can launch a poll and you can answer which one of these new stuff is the most interesting for you. Which one do you like best? The votes are already coming in.
Okay, we have a great number of attendees still here.
Yeah.
Congratulations to all of you. You handle it 1 hour listening to 3D survey enthusiasts. Okay.
We couldn't manage to, list all the new stuff on here because of the platform limits. So I hope, yeah. So the X-ray thing and the transform uh, revamp did not make it to the list. Give us a comment if that was your favorite.
Mhm. Very good. And again, short, we are going to answer your questions. The webinar is live. Use this opportunity. If you have any questions correlated to 3D survey, maybe not just to this version, we can help you also with this one. There are a number of questions already there, but yes, use this opportunity. We are one-on-one.
Okay,
That's it.
with Marco, are we ready?
I
These
believe
are the
we are.
Yes,
results.
we are ready.
So as you can see, speed improvement got the half uh, percentage of the votes. It's sort of expected. That's why we also highlighted it as the first one. And then the two orthophoto novelties are sort of neck to neck. A bit more, actually, two votes more got to the ground orthophoto, and Edge Complete Orthophoto got 18%. So then there's user enhancement improvement, which got 4 votes, and Linux version got 2 votes. So very happy to see 2 potential Linux users. Um, great. And
Okay.
maybe now I could mention that we actually did not manage to present all of the new stuff to you. There are also minor improvements that we didn't want to put on the big list. But go check out the copy feature in CAD. Just a hint.
Mm, okay, very good. Definitely, when you run the version and you get a notification there's a new version available, you will see all complete list what everything was improved. Okay. Now maybe Vit, are you ready to start with the questions?
Yes, now we are ready to start with the questions and answers sessions. Um, so as we mentioned at the beginning, and as everybody sees today, we are on the new GoToWebinar platform, which was updated. So as it is usual, when we update things, sometimes things don't work 100%. So a lot of questions today were related to some people not being able to see the videos or not able to see entire screen. I think this is something completely related to the GoToWebinar platform, which we hope will be improved in the future. For those of you who did not see the screen, and if you are still with us, I can only say now that unfortunately the only solution will be to check the recording of the webinar. We hope the recording will work perfectly.
Yeah, and
Um,
there is a link to the second video on YouTube. So the ground orthophoto video, if you missed it somehow, go check to the chat box and get the link there.
Yes. So this is with regard to the issues that are that we think are related to the GoToWebinar platform. Now, if we go one by one through questions regarding to questions from our customers, and the first one we received maybe 30 minutes ago from Tomislav Vargek. He asked, could you introduce the option when creating a profile to enter an arbitrary first station rather than always having to be 0? So we do have on our development plan a task which says upgrading vertical cross sections or profiles. And this is one of the highly requested features. And I think it's about time to add this one. I just hope that we will be able to add it with the full update already. Because now is the good time to bring this up because now the development plans will be finalized. So yes, Tomek, Tomislav, we plan to add this function. Right. So this was the first question, not related to the platform. Second question is regarding the RCS data format. Unfortunately, the RCS data format is a proprietary data format by Autodesk software. And as such, the solution is that you install the demo version of Autodesk Recap software. With that software, you can then import LAS or E57 files and convert them into RCS data format. Now, Ivano Marcola, he asked, with the transform tool, can I move the project to a known elevation? Let's suppose I know the elevation coordinate of a specific point, for example, the top of a roof or the bottom of the water canal. Yes, Ivano, exactly. This is the most useful and the most intended functionality of the transform tool, moving the projects or data vertically, for example, from the ellipsoidal coordinate system to geoid, or if we just have everything on 0 elevation to bring it up to the real world coordinates. Okay, let's go back. Dimitrios Helios asked, is it possible to automatically detect and create lines through X-ray function?
Yes.
Yes, exactly. This one is an easy one. You just right-click on the section in the X-ray view and select detect lines. To get more information on that, we have tutorials both on our website and on our YouTube channel. And we also have a couple of webinars on this topic. You can find them on our website under webinars, detect lines, I think it's entitled. Okay, and an interesting question from Powell. He's asking, which NVIDIA graphic drivers are better in 3Dsurvey, Studio or Game Ready? Very good question. Don't think we had this one before. So in this case, we definitely recommend Studio drivers. So between the two, the Studio drivers are more stable. They have less updates, but they are also less likely to have any bugs, which would, for example, possibly mess up the map view in 3Dsurvey. So this is related to the next question. I just have to go find it here in the list. So yes, I do have slight issues with the new user interface. So Bertrand asked that after the update, he can no longer see maps in 3Dsurvey. So I think this is exactly somehow connected to the driver updates because we also saw it earlier before update. We are actually working on finding the solution and I hope we find it soon. Probably solution will have to do something with Windows settings. Right. Back to questions. Marcus is asking, are you planning to have contour lines also in the cloud?
Good question.
Marco, what do you think?
Yes, good question. Maybe currently workaround with the DXF. But yes, definitely we will support also this in cloud in the future. For now, save the contour lines as a DXF, import them in 3Dsurvey and upload CAD data. And you have contour lines in cloud also. But yes, to make it even more convenient for you, for users, this is a logical step for future, definitely.
Then Federica is asking, is it now possible to change color of contour lines but not their thickness? So
So color,
Yeah. Color, yes. Thickness, no.
color yes,
Maybe in the
thickness no.
future.
okay, good suggestion. Okay, let's continue with the list. Elias is asking how to import 3D point cloud from 3Dsurvey to AutoCAD or Brisket. Brisket is easy. You just save the point cloud as an LAS, and then Brisket will allow you to import it to import this LAS. For importing the point cloud from 3Dsurvey to AutoCAD, the solution is slightly longer. I'll just go ahead and start screen sharing. Share. We have a webinar on this subject on our website. You access it by going to 3dsurvey.si. And then I think the fastest way to find that webinar is if you just click here on search and write AutoCAD. Press search. And there is a step-by-step guide how to import 3Dsurvey data into AutoCAD. Everything is included in here in this webinar. You can just click it, play it here, or go to YouTube and just find all the tips and tricks regarding importing data into AutoCAD. Okay, I'll stop the screen share. Bernhard is also asking, what about support for dual CPU machines? Bernhard, we actually recommend using 3Dsurvey with single CPU machines because dual CPU, it brings a lot of trouble to the table. The issue is that 3Dsurvey needs a lot of RAM memory most of the time. And the dual CPU machines, the RAM memory is divided between the two CPUs. So if the CPU tries to access the RAM memory of which belongs to CPU number 2, that memory access operation is slow. So very often, if we have big data, processing data on the dual CPU machines can take a little bit can take even longer than on single CPU machines. That's because dual CPU machines, they are more suitable for tasks where you are working with, where you have a lot of small tasks like that. So Actually, for processing in 3D survey, we recommend single CPU computers. Okay, and that was the question.
Do we have any
Okay.
more questions?
Yes, we do.
Okay, maybe yes. Let's take the following plan because questions are popping up and popping out. This is very good. So let's take another 5 minutes for the questions. Then we say thank you for everybody. Just to stop the recording and to say hi to everyone or thank you for everyone, and then maybe continue additional 10
Okay.
minutes. Huh? Okay.
Goran is asking if the X-ray module is included in perpetual license or on the monthly base. So for now, the X-ray module is only available in the monthly base. Um,
I mean, you could buy a yearly plan of 12.
yes, but for now it is still subscription only.
It's just subscription, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and Miss Michael asked, I'm having problems remotely accessing my server, for example, with Splashtop Business, the 3D survey view that has no content and is only displayed in white. Is this a problem with remote access program or already known? Hi, Michael. Yes, I think this is most probably related to the latest to some update, either Windows update or the uh, NVIDIA drivers update. So we need to look into this issue. We hope we find a solution for it soon. But as I said earlier, probably the solution will be to change some Windows settings, like environment variables, something like that. So no, it's not your remote desktop solution. Jose Dominguez is asking, do you have a payment plan for the perpetual license? I am interested. Hi, Jose. At the moment, we don't have a payment plan, but but you can talk to our sales team about it if you send an email to the info@3dsurvey.si, or maybe they will contact you on their own. Yanis is asking, how about CAD tab improvement? More options for vectorization, like editing polylines, joining polylines, option to turn off points, but not vectorized polylines. If you already answered, just skip this. Hi, Yanis. Yes, good question. This is also one of the functionalities already on the list for the next update to improve the CAD lines. So actually, those were already on the list once. We couldn't complete it. So we thought joining polylines, is that really important? We said maybe we put it in a little bit later. But when we start working in CAD, we quickly saw that we really need this functionality. Breaking polylines, joining polylines, that is a must function.
Exactly.
Yeah, should be there soon.
Also not circle, how we say.
Arcs.
The arcs
Uh,
with 3 points will come in future. So it's happening,
Yeah.
guys. It's happening.
CAD
okay.
updates always need to be there.
Tobias is asking, will there soon be a feature that automatically generates fracture lines from a point cloud? So I think Tobias means break lines from the point cloud.
It's October. Okay, hold me on my words. October.
Okay, Marco promised this one.
It's recorded.
And Tomislav, another idea for contour lines is to add option for setting distance between points on contour. Yes, so Tomislav talks about uh, points with elevation for the contour lines to control how
Okay.
many those tags we have.
Mhm.
Also a good suggestion. We're getting a lot of good suggestions today. I hope we're able to fulfill most of them. Konstantinos is asking, can I use break lines as hard lines in mesh calculation? Yes, you can actually. If you create break lines, um, so it's very important that these break lines then don't intersect each other. Um, then the second thing, you also need to extract CAD points from the point cloud, and then you can use triangulate cat function to create a mesh from the break lines and the points. Um, if the answer was not clear enough, send us an email at support@3dsurvey.si and we will give you more detailed instructions. And finally, Bertrand is also asking, will you support export to recap? Yes, this one, unfortunately, for now, it's still a little bit harder because as far as I know, the RCP file format is still proprietary. But we
You
can
could
check if
probably
anything
use.
has changed
Mm,
in this field. For now, if you want to bring data into Recap, you need to export from 3Dsurvey LAS point cloud, and then the LAS you can bring into Recap, but you cannot create RCP file directly from
mm.
3Dsurvey.
Okay, I believe that's it, Vid, huh? Pretty
Yes,
exhausting, pretty exhausting. Took us a bit longer, but we still have 3 minutes to say goodbye to you. And thank you for joining this webinar. Install the latest update, 4.1 version, enjoy all new features. And if you need some help, support, we are there for you. Hopefully, it's going to be a powerful version, much faster than the old one. And I would just like to say from my side, again, thank you for attending this webinar. See you on another webinar. And yes, Vid,
Yeah,
back to
thank
you.
you. Thanks everyone for coming, and see you soon in one of the future webinars.
yeah. Thank you guys, and especially you Linux guys. Give us some feedback. It's a beta version, so please let us know if not everything worked.
Hopefully you enjoy it. See you on the next one. Bye bye.
See you. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
Bye.